Hey guys, it's Panets, and we are gonna do another player perspective analysis video about patch 3.18 that was just recently announced to us by a beautiful trio of Josh, Jamie, and Leif, who did a really good job. Thanks, guys. And overall, they are delivering good news. A week ago we had patch 3.17 and it was amazing. I must say I expected a lot of it and we got even more. Patch is really good. Most of the stuff turned out to be amazing, and now we are getting a similar vibe from patch 3.18, but I also have some mixed feelings that aren't directly related with the patch but with the stuff we heard during the stream, so we are gonna visit that later on. No guests yet in this podcast this week because it's kind of hard getting people who actually followed the stream to hop in straight away into the chat and discuss stuff with you. Some of them couldn't attend it, some of them don't have interest, some of them need time to process it. So we are just going to go solo and we are going to hop into the analysis. What is 3.18 bringing to us? We are getting something that's called Praetorian system back. And it's an older feature, they have experience with it, and now they are reviving it, reactivating it, however you want to call it. So we cannot comment on this because we are just players. Basically, Praetorians are the group of really good players who play a lot and have experience with units and mechanics and stuff like that, and who can give invaluable input to developers. Praetorians, I hope they are not going to be biased. I hope they are going to do their job well, and they are that valuable link between us players and devs. So I hope in the future we are going to have some stuff happening quicker, more precise, and more directed, like that patches are going to be even better. Now, the following thing they addressed is not a patch change that's actually a patch change. It's just a hotfix for a possible problem that some players had because of NA login, and it's issue where you had games with too many AI players in your games. Like if you had those games with too many bots in your games, this could be a problem on their side, and they are hopefully fixing it. They also revisited a question about servers, and they mentioned how we got some new servers a couple of weeks ago. We are going to get some new servers in the future. Then we come to an actual feature from patch 3.18, and it's MVP screens that got changed. Basically, from those solo players who actually scored well, we are going to a group of players on the picture. So basically 10 models. They do resemble a team, so it's much more easier to correlate with them as a team that played. 3 players or maybe even more are gonna have some features pointed out, like you don't have to be MVP to have your amazing 11 routes listed, because it is amazing to have 11 routes, for instance. So we are gonna see such stuff. It's a cosmetic change. I don't care too much about cosmetic changes, but I applaud this. It's a good stuff, and I overall like the idea. More people in the spotlight means more people trying hard, and maybe we are gonna have some more team play in the game. So let's move on. I don't care about that. We are getting new new UI approach to tech trees, where we are gonna see premium units you have purchased already listed. It's quality of life change. You can access your premium units you have quicker, more easily, and stuff like that. Also, we got news that 6 of the premium units that were only available for cash, only purchasable in the shop, are now going to be available inside the game for gold. So some people who grind gold, who actually save it up, can purchase some of the units without actually using money. So it's a nice change. As you can see, it's a simple solution, but it works. It was really needed. Then we had a short review by Leif about Capua. Basically, they are very happy about Capua. In the past 7 days, we had a Capua spam, because every single time you load into the game, it's Capua. It's interesting map. It's really well designed. It's cosmetically pleasing. It's okay. We have played it in Sun Tzu in a really competitive environment, both in open training and in closed trainings. It is not balanced for such gameplay. Some units types are suffering heavily, but as it goes for actual design of the map and balance of the sides, like if you spawn on one side or if you spawn on the other side, it is balanced and they are very happy with it. Current balance is 51% to 49%, which is really good for a symmetrical map, and Kappa is valuable addition to map pool. Also, my favorite change of the patch is actually changed to Teutborg Forest. And if you guys missed this, check this out. This is amazing. They removed both vision towers, those next to the river that control all of the map. And this is going to reduce amount of camping. This is going to increase value of scouting. This is going to like highlight tactical approach decisions. Do I push? Do I scout? Do I take this carefully? Do I rush it? Do I risk everything here and now? So it's amazing change. Also, since the map was heavily disbalanced, considering how one side had no passage from the middle of the map to the vision tower. Now they are changing that up, and as you can see on the screenshot, they are opening up passage to the forest, so you can actually rotate much more efficiently, quicker, and it's amazing balance fix. Up until now, Teutborg was disbalanced. Players knew that, at least those that pay attention to that, and the difference between win rate from depending on the side you spawn at was 54% to 46%. This doesn't mean that you as a player were damaged for some games. Oh, I lost because I spawned there, because over a larger number of games you spawned on both sides and you got your fair share of wins and you got your fair share of defeats based on the side of the map you spawned at. So it's amazing change. I salute it. Like it. We needed this. They are also introducing something that's actually added support for multiple channels for buffs. So it's a little bit harder to understand, but basically what this does, up until now, when two similar buffs or buff and debuff are applied, system couldn't process them both. So basically the latter one just overrode the former one, and this wasn't perfect solution. So now on they are introducing two channels, so your two buffs can actually be both visible. The stronger one will be applied. They are not gonna stack, like you cannot stack auras and stuff, but also buff against debuff can be like deducted one from another, and they are gonna work in such manner. This is positive because we can expect in the future some additions to this system, and this can be played around with. So right now we get nothing out of this, but in the future it could be really good. They are also increasing competitive level of premium units, basically buffing them. Now I wasn't too happy to hear about this, because right now I think some of the units, like premium units, are too strong. Some of them are definitely too weak, but most of them are playable just fine. Like, there's no need, they have their purpose. If you pick heavy barb cav premium unit, it has different role than light barb cav normal unit does. And like Myrmidons and Greeks, they are really damn quick, and they are tanky, and their unit ability, which is raise shields, is so useful that unit is really strong. I don't think it needs buffs, but let's take it easy. I don't think this is introduction of pay to win model. It might lead to it, but they announced buffs from ranging from 2 to 15% increase, and basically some of the units obviously need lots of help and others are fine. Well, basically that would be most of the issue. Oh yeah, they also optimized loading times, which means that users that are using regular hard disks and not solid state disks are gonna get shorter loading times. It's gonna help some people, and this should increase your quality of life. Now, the following two things are actually not patch material. They are announcement of changes that are expected, that wait for us in the future. It's a change to point system. And basically Jamie told us that they are considering changing the whole point system, revisiting how aggression points are generated, revisiting how units of different tier interact. Like if you're fighting with a weaker and lower tier unit against stronger enemy with higher tier unit, you will generate points quicker than he is to compensate for your balance of strength. So this is really good. They are also thinking about reducing scouting points, capping points. It's all good, I hope. I hope it's going to be well-designed stuff and that we need it. They also pointed out how archers have weaker point generation, and that is somewhat correct in the current system, but what they should consider is damage to points generation, because right now cav units, Falx units, they generate points quite quickly, especially aggression points, and archers do not. But when archers do, it means they inflicted actual damage that's permanent to the enemy. So if you see archer with 3k aggression points, that's not the same as cav player with 3k aggression points, that's not the same as barb infantry player with 3k points, because it means the archer player did more effective damage to HP of the enemy. They should be careful about this. I think archers are OP, so points are not the only indicator, and they should be careful about this. That's what it's a question for the future right now. Also, they are introducing leaderboards. That's something as well for some other patch. But what are leaderboards? Leaderboards are gonna basically show the names of top 100 players in each region that play on tier 10 units, and there are some prerequisitions for you to show up on those lists. But I must point out how it's an imperfect system based on what I saw from Wargaming and Creative Assembly this far, because I saw some lists that show players who just had a huge number of games, and it means nothing because their quality of gameplay wasn't there. So lists should be considered really, they should be designed well. Unit types inside the game do not perform equally, so all of that stuff should be taken into account, so we don't end up with some spammer who mindlessly suicides in the game on the list just as if he was a good player. Players do love to compete and to measure their performance in this manner, so leaderboards could be an interesting addition. Also, there were some questions from the players. One of the questions was about Teutborg Forest, and I would love to address it. Leif gave answer to that. Question was, is Teutborg Forest going to get more forest? And answer was politically, hey, it could cause balancing issues. But I don't understand the fuss, because right now they also pointed how Rubicon had no forest whatsoever, and now it has forest. Well, Rubicon Forest is absolutely useless. You never get to fight into it. Like, it's so useless that it's cosmetic, basically. Like, you can hide one unit inside it and wait for the later parts of the match. That's all. The issue with maps and map design right now is that it's not balanced. It's not balanced around units. It's not fair to unit types. It's generic. It has way too many choke points, and all of this led me to a situation where I want to ask a question. And Leif was kind enough to answer to me. The question basically was, hey, I understand that unit balance is not your stuff. You don't do that, but do you guys consider unit balance when you design the map? And he actually answered to me. I'm gonna play it out. I'm gonna play that clip for you. So what he said was,
yes, it is a serious consideration to try and make every unit at least find some role within a map. Sometimes that might mean a unit needs to play outside of its comfort zone. And a great example of that is barbarians have to come out of the woods and play with their teammates in the field and do their flanking maneuvers and help them that way.
And fair enough, he gave us the answer. But the issue here is, what he said is both correct and incorrect. It's correct because barbs do have to come out of the forest. The problem is barbs always have to come out of the forest. We have one map right now that actually benefits barbs a lot, and we have two more maps where barbs can actually fight inside the forest and not like avoid the forest, avoid the center of the map and the map itself. So everything is a choke point. There is not much flanking happening. If flanking is happening, enemy team is not playing well. There is million of issues that stack, like vision is too big. You cannot hide in the forest because enemy sees you from too far away, then archers shoot you and barbs cannot take that. My point in short is, Capua is new map, we just got it, and it's already heavily disbalanced to 4 unit types. War Dogs, Foxes, Barb Infantry, and Barb Cav, Cav in general, are unplayable on that map. They got no role, they got no purpose, they got nothing that other unit types cannot do better. So there is no need to ever pick them on those maps. Too many choke points, too many edges that you can charge into while trying to rotate quickly. Too much vision, 2 vision towers with huge area they see. So all of these issues, my point is map design team should work better with balancing team, and their barbs, war dogs, cav, they are all in a horrible shape right now. We should have some heavy balancing and revisiting stuff on the higher tiers. And the screenshot I'm gonna show you is actually, pardon me, what you should have made Capua to be. Capua should have been this site you see right now. So you claim that lots of players ask for city map. I doubt this because all I see is players continuously ask for open terrain maps, and we got very few of those. Everything is a cliff, everything is a choke point right now, and vision is too big. So there is no strategic gameplay, it's just a rock, paper, scissors system where barbs are always bottom tier somehow. I don't know, that's just my 2 cents. I also have to point out, being myself, that everything we heard about point system change that's coming, I wrote on Reddit 4 months ago, and most of the points were exactly similar as these made today about future changes. So maybe we could have had that change to the point system quicker. But however it is, 3.18, I think it's going to be a decent patch. My favorite change is Teutborg Forest change. I loved it, and I don't know. All that's left for us is now to wait and try out the patch in 7 days. Thank you for attention, guys. See ya.